Hi.
Hey.
So today we
Are celebrating.
are celebrating 10 years of being PKs.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
We're celebrating surviving 10 years of being PKs. And because of that, we have a special guest, a fellow PK, our fellow PK,
Member of KRC.
our sister.
Introduce yourself.
I'm Skylah.
Welcome to Bottom Bunk, Skylah. How do you feel?
I feel like I got accepted into the club of this society.
Society.
Well,
It's a
we're
clubhouse,
glad.
not a secret society.
Glad
It's not
to
a cult.
have you on the Bottom Bunk. Welcome to the
Bottom
slumber
Bunk.
party.
We're so sorry that we're not on an actual bed. Those vibes are better, but this is the bottom bunk today, the dining room table. Why not?
We gotta get some celebratory like music.
Do we though?
So like, we don't have to.
No, it's just really acting like she's editing.
But it's like, it's just celebratory. The vibes are lit. So yeah, it's been 10 years at KRC, 10 years of ministry, and
We started in 2012.
I was 12 years old
I
when,
must have been 10 then.
when KRC started.
I was just thinking this. I don't think I processed anything at 10.
Hmm.
Like I remember mommy and daddy sitting us down and being like, so we're gonna start a church. What do you think? And I feel like my reaction to that was like no reaction. Just
I didn't
like,
have a reaction either.
okay.
Yeah, when they first told us we were having a church, I was just like,
I don't think we knew what it meant.
yeah. I was like, okay, sounds like a y'all thing. Have fun.
No, you stayed like that for the good first 5 years, but
Sounds like a y'all thing. But, you know, for me, over time, I think I grew some hostility towards it for
I
the
felt
first
that.
few years.
I mean, and not literally, but I feel what you're saying. I
So
literally feel hostile.
this is celebration. So happy
mean, it is.
anniversary.
Happy anniversary to KRC, but that's
Happy
not why we're
anniversary.
here. We're here to talk about the past 10 years of being PKs and how it has changed us and scarred us and made us better people.
Yeah,
Or maybe it hasn't made you a better person yet.
Skylah was too.
Yeah.
I'm very interested to hear.
Yeah, Skylar, what do you remember? What's
What
the
Skylar
earliest
has
thing
to
you
say.
remember about KRC?
I remember, I don't remember moments. I just remember noticing a lot of things.
Mm.
I just,
Do you remember your feelings?
What did you notice?
I noticed the floor. I really liked the floor.
Not her counting the floor tiles.
I don't know. I just like the color. It's random.
How did it make you feel being at church?
No, better question. How did it make you feel to grow up in a church and like?
That's the way it's always been. I didn't know to have any feelings about it. I was just there.
Fair.
She said I was just there. We were all just there, sis. We were all just here.
Do you feel like it's helped or hindered your relationship with God on a personal level?
Getting deep.
I think it helps, but in some way it hinders because it's sometimes like you get tricked into a feeling of entitlement and that makes you vulnerable. Like,
wait, entitlement
Say
to
more.
what? Yeah.
like my dad's a preacher and my mom's a minister. She can cover me and I don't need to talk to God right now. And she'll pray with me later. It's fine.
Oh,
Interesting.
yeah, that's interesting. Because we talked about coverings last time.
Yeah, we did.
And how important it is to like get out on your own and like establish your own covering.
We talked.
It was easier to push it aside sometimes. Feel like, oh yeah, like so many people have told me like I'm anointed and like God is like leading you or something.
That's
and
a good point.
Your mom and dad are like blessed and their blessing was on you and you're like,
okay, yes. I'm glad you brought this
Yeah.
up because I feel like I felt that way a little bit, but I couldn't quite explain it sometimes. And like you explained it really well, like that entitlement of like people telling you like you're blessed and stuff, but like you can't remember specific moments of like why you think you're especially blessed, but you're just like, God must really like me, you know, and then something happens and you're like, oh shoot, like does he like me? Or like I thought he liked me and like my blessing didn't look the way I wanted it. And I just thought that was interesting because recently people have been saying like, I've been listening to people who have been saying like blessings, we think of them as like gifts, but they're really just like assignments and like they come with tests, and like it's not necessarily like the good gift everybody packages as.
That made me think of mom bought me a shirt that said God's favorite, and I was like very hesitant to wear it because I was like, everyone's God's favorite. No. And she was like, it's okay to say that you're God's favorite. And I was like,
if you're one of his
put it aside for another time.
On the top. One of God's favorites.
That's interesting that you bring that up though, because I feel like kind of the opposite in the way that I think. Like I kind of think that I have to measure up to something. Mm-hmm. Like I have to meet God's expectation to get anything that he allows me to get. And I don't know where that came from, but I don't know. I maybe just from like the age differences and like the perceptions differences, but I don't know. I feel like I kind of got like the opposite out of all that. Like,
yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. I think I felt that kind of way with like people. Like sometimes it feels like, oh, like I have to present myself in a certain way because people know like me as my dad's daughter or whatever. Like they expect a certain thing when they look at me. But then also I was thinking about, I remember like right after the church started when we went down to North Carolina, and was like, yeah, it's gonna be hard, but God's gonna bless you because of who your parents are and like all that. Do you remember that?
Oh, I do remember that conversation.
And she was like, yeah, it's like it's a lot, but like you just like keep on like.
Yeah, because she was talking about like people were gonna like hate. Yeah, and, like I do remember.
That's what I remember most. I think is a lot of like people trying to prepare us for things that like. And I'm the type of person where like when people prepare me for things, I expect those things. Yep. Like I don't take them as like, oh, this could happen. It's like, oh, this is probably gonna happen, and you just kind of like deal with it.
And it kind of makes you guarded. Like,
yeah.
For me, I know I had that effect for sure.
I was really guarded.
I felt like I had to put on a front and like make sure people didn't like have any ammo against me. Like that's how I felt.
That's where we were different. I feel like because I feel like definitely like me when my front was very like. No, like I'm not gonna deal with you at all. Like I don't know. I just think it's funny because like I don't think I noticed that I had a front, but like when people would like come over to our house and be like, "Oh, Madison's so different," like in her house, I'd be like, "Yes, it's because I don't like you." Like I don't like you, but, like you know, whatever. And when I had that like thing with Minister and she was talking about like my attitude or whatever, I was like, my attitude is there for a reason. Like you're coming at me. There's a reason I have an attitude. Like I don't. Yeah. Nobody puts armor up around pillows. Like that doesn't make sense.
Fire.
So
I love that.
Oh, should we snap for it? Yeah. I feel like I could have done a better simile, but it's 11 o'clock. That's not even a simile.
Yeah, I don't think I realized that I put on a front really. It kind of just was like, oh, people are gonna do this, so I better like stay guarded and like make sure they can't say anything bad about me or anything like that, and like, you know, smile on people's face, the whole big shebang. But like I think over time it turned into like actually like, you know, caring about people.
That's why I think it's so interesting because I feel like we came from different points of the spectrum, but we all sort of like ended up in the temperate middle.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Sounds about right.
You really come to care about these people after 10 years and like
I didn't have problems with that at all because I was like so young, no one really like they didn't expect much of me, but now that I'm getting older, it's like I have to decide like, do I want to just like
you gotta decide who you want to be.
Yeah. And I guess sometimes it feels like those are all my options. Like I could be like Kayla, who's like always really nice and fun and outgoing. I could be like Madison, who's kind of in between, and then we could be like Christian, who's like just there and kind of.
That's fair.
And then I could just be like invent a whole different person. And then Grayson came along, and I was like, I just thought about it even more because I was like, she's just like mimicking everything that we do, and I don't know, it just feels like a little more pressurized. Just a tad bit because of that.
That's understandable.
Do you know like who you want to be, like what you want to be in church?
Yeah, I think I've decided. I think I'm just like, people are just probably gonna see me as rude. I think.
You know, Skylah, I think for you it's a little different because when we were figuring that out, like we barely knew people.
Yeah.
And you've known these people for
They've known you since. It's also that they know you.
They've watched you grow up.
Yeah.
So like the way that you come off is like
they know you a little bit more about you.
Yeah.
So they know who you are, even though like you may choose to put on the front, but at the end of the day, they already know who you are.
Right.
So I don't think anybody's gonna see you as rude. They'll probably be like, "Oh, that's Skylah. She's so, you know,
she's
like
a teenager now." Like,
yeah, I don't know. I think kids don't hide their personalities as much.
No,
and I like
and
that.
you definitely didn't, Skylah.
No,
you definitely didn't.
You still don't. You're always who you are.
Yeah, you're pretty much the same all the
time. Carve out your own place.
Yeah, I just been thinking more about how like I was talking to mom yesterday about how people lie a lot of time and how like you'll probably like lie at least once to a stranger in the first 10 minutes you're talking to them. I think what I mean by rude is just I just want to be a very outright saying it person in a respectful way, but even though being respectful.
Yeah, I was supposed to say you already are. I think you are like that. And I think that, I mean, I have different like feelings about it because to me, I feel like that everybody has the potential to rub everybody the wrong way. And like, yes, you should be nice and come to people in love, but that doesn't necessarily mean that your tone is like, you don't have to necessarily coat things in sugar and honey to like come from a place of love. And like people don't always understand that. And yes, like you can be nice, but I don't know. I feel like we're at the point where like you know it or you don't.
Yeah. I mean, there's a difference too between sugarcoating and respect.
Yeah, that too.
You can say something respectfully without, trying to like cover up what you're really trying to say.
Yeah.
I mean, just say what you need to say and say it respectfully. Don't take away anyone's dignity, obviously, or like.
I was thinking a lot of like what you said in terms of, I mean, you're talking about like kind of attitude, but I'm thinking more in terms of like role, because I feel like when we first started, we were kind of thrown into roles and I did not want to be I really think about this a lot. It was very unfair for me to be put in the position I was, because we started singing on praise and worship the minute church started. You were 12, I was 10 years old. I had absolutely no business being on a praise and worship team. And I mean, it's kind of like the child actor thing. Like, I don't have a problem with it now, but there was a lot of pressure put on me at the time. Sing louder, stop fidgeting. What are you doing? Like, I'm 10 years old. Like, I'm not even in middle school yet.
True.
Like, or like I had just like gotten into 6th grade or gotten out of 6th grade. Like, that was not fair at all. That was really weird, actually.
You know what? I never thought about it that way, but like putting it in that perspective, like, makes a lot of sense. Like we really were just forced to kind of like do that. Like we weren't really like asked about it. We weren't talked to about it. We weren't trained properly. We just kind of were like thrown in front of people and expected to like
succeed,
do it fine and like without a problem. And I'm just like, that is a lot of pressure for a kid, for one. And it doesn't
to set the tone for worship for a whole church at 10 years old is absolutely crazy.
Yeah. I mean, even me, like 12 years old
12 is absolutely crazy. I mean, I guess I think reasonable. It's not reasonable. I guess I think of it differently because you were into singing at the time. I was fully not. Like they fully like tried to get me into something that I did not like was not interested in at all. Like I had no experience on stage, never done a solo. I had done 2 auditions at the time, tanked them both. Like I had absolutely no confidence, no reason to be in front of people.
Yeah, even though I like singing, I think the fact that, I wasn't asked, I wasn't trained, I wasn't, I didn't really understand the significance of it. And I really didn't want to do it half the time. I don't know. I think that's interesting that anyone felt the need for praise and worship in a room full of 6 people. But
it wasn't even 6.
I feel like 5 or 6 people. But even then it was like,
it still wasn't necessary.
I don't know. It was just a lot of like pressure, a lot of like sing louder. Why don't you sing louder? It's like because I'm 11. Like, what do you mean why? My lungs are literally like as big as my fist.
And that went on for years.
Because it's been 10 years. It went on from I was 10. It's been 10 years of people continuously. I don't know. I just feel like if I had to choose a role or like a role that I wanted to play in church, I definitely like wanted to play drums when I was younger. Like I was into stuff. I was really into AV stuff at the time. And I just wasn't given the like space to do what I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. And obviously like I kind of enjoy praise and worship now. I'm not like, it's still not like my thing, but I know that they pushed me in it because they felt like I was gifted in that area, like I was anointed in that area, but that's not how you go about that.
No, it's not.
You don't throw us in the deep end.
Mm-mm. Okay. Rosebud Thorn.
Okay.
Skylah.
Do you know Rosebud Thorn?
See. Yes.
Okay. So we're doing it for the whole 10 years, best part, worst part, what you're looking forward to. I need a minute to think.
Okay. I'm gonna think too.
Okay. Should I go first? Or should...
Wait, we'll go in a circle. You seem really excited. We can go in age order then.
I'm trying to think of my thorn.
Lucky you.
I feel like there's multiple I could choose from, but
I tried to pick the biggest one.
Okay.
All right. You good?
Yes.
Okay. We're gonna go in age order. No. We're gonna go in age order. You can go first as our guest.
Skylah, our guest, can go first.
The worst part is the assumptions about pastors' kids, I think.
Who was making assumptions?
I think it was just mainly like the one assumption, which is pastors' kids. They know everything about like Jesus and stuff, and like their
to be
parents.
Fair, you know a lot.
Okay, but
as you should.
That's like I think most of that I know is like biblical, and it's not opinionated, or I mean, not that it has to be opinionated. It's more like there's just no like explanation, and there are just questions about certain things that I didn't have the answers to for a while, and it felt like I can't go to dad because he's like working all the time, and then he has like his message and stuff, and sometimes he'll like just, I don't know, not the best.
I think that is a common misconception that like SPKs, our pastors, are accessible to us.
Yeah. What I'm looking forward to is just having like more growth in the church as like just like, I don't know, getting an act together.
That's fair.
I feel like I don't know what exactly we should work on, but I just know that there's a lot of developmental issues. My rose is I liked being social, like be able to meet all those people. It just gave me an advantage, I think. And it taught me a lot about people and how to interact with them. And I think that's one of my favorite things about just being who I am in a pastor's kids role is just, I know how to interact with different types of people. And I think it helps me relate to people.
That's awesome.
Okay, that was really good.
That was really good.
I did mine by like events.
I did mine too.
Okay. Now I'm thinking I should have done it by qualities, but I guess they sort of go hand in hand.
Yeah, mine go hand in hand.
So for my thorn, I'll start off with a thorn. I picked my stint as youth leader. That was a huge thorn to me because of the drama and
which drama?
The restorative circle I had to have with the youth minister at the time. That whole thing, like people have a habit of dealing with me as though I'm an adult, and I have a habit of dealing with adults as though I am an adult. And some adults, like, they find it cute until it's not. Let's just be real. And so I think I was in my junior year and I was youth leader, and I was like trying to do stuff, and I don't even know what happened, honestly. Somebody found a reason to get mad at me. I said something.
It was a text you sent.
Yeah. No, she sent me a text that was disrespectful. Anyway, it was a series of things. Like, it was a series of events leading up to the point where, like, I had to get my parents involved, and, like, I had to, like, CC mommy and daddy on these messages because it was getting, like, wild. And then we had to have a restricted circle. And that was my thorn because I think that was, like, where I was at my low point, because I was kind of trying to, like, I felt, like, moved to do things, and it felt like there were all these obstacles. But also it was kind of, like, refreshing to see mommy and daddy on my side for once, and I did really appreciate that they defended me during that meeting. My rose was the year, like 2016 to 2018 was kind of fire for us, like this early days of like Church Without Walls and the spaghetti dinners, and then the gala for the 50th year anniversary, all the way up until like the North Carolina trip, like that kind of golden year where we were just like doing stuff and we were really like doing a lot of outreach and touching people.
The prime of our lives.
Yeah. The initial golden years, we'll call it. That was like really good. And I enjoyed that experience because I really like doing outreach and like getting my hands not dirty, but like working with my hands.
Yeah.
And then my butt, I'm really looking forward to getting our college ministry established and like getting our youth ministry established. But low-key, I'm also really excited to see what like all of us are going to do in the ministry and with our own ministries with the skills that we've acquired from being PKs, because like even this podcast and like our little devotionals and like I don't know, I'm just really excited to see what fruit comes from this terrible time.
Me too.
I didn't mean that. Like it hasn't always
I feel like I'm gonna start with my bud because I feel like mine's just similar to both yours. Like I'm really excited just to see our members develop, as Skylah said. Like I'm ready to see people growing and moving and feeling confident in their faith. And like I think, you know, our youth especially are gonna be like really influential, and they're really passionate and they really go hard. And so I'm excited to like see how they grow and like be a part of that process. I think my thorn, and sorry if this sounds so dramatic, it probably isn't as dramatic as I'm making it sound.
Say the first day.
No. But I feel like the first few years, like we kind of, our family was sacrificed a little bit.
A lot of it.
Yeah, as far as just like our parents and like our relationship with them and their relationship with each other, I think it was very rough to see that go down. It was just a lot of like chaos in our home. And that was really a low point for me because I felt like it was a time in my life where I needed my parents. And I kind of didn't. I don't know. It was just, you know, it is what it is, but it was just one of those things. So it was a sacrifice.
I still like major thorn, a lot of sacrifice.
Yeah. But my rose, similar to you, was like Church Without Walls circa 2015. Yes. Like those times it just felt like it felt like, you know,
it felt like something.
Yeah, it felt like a part of something, like having an impact on the community, watching people come together and like enjoying, you know, that time of service and being a part. And, you know, we just like, we're so comfortable with each other. Like we're so just comfortable with the ministry.
Low-key, sorry, I didn't want to cut you off. I was talking to some of the youth the other day and they were like, oh, like we want to like hang out. We want to like be closer. And I was just thinking about like the OG like youth group and like how close we all were. We were always together.
And it was like a good time because we knew like, you know, we were helping each other out. We were pulling up water from downstairs and bringing it outside.
All those chairs.
Like, all the chairs. It was hot, but you know, we did together and we had fun. We laughed through it. And it was nice. I miss those days because it felt like a second family. Like, you know, that's how I want our church to be.
Yeah.
I think it's just like you were just saying how like 2012 and like 2014 was like really hard, but then like 2015 and 2016 is like the golden age, and it's like
for the church, not for us.
Oh, okay. Well, it just makes me think of like just what happened between that 2018 and 2019, 2017 period.
A lot of things happened.
What happened when?
Like, what happened after the golden years? Like after 2018?
Because like I feel like after that really big sacrifice, there was like just a lot of like really good time. And it's crazy because I don't even remember that. I just remember it being like really cool. I don't remember any of the fights or anything.
That's good.
Yeah.
That is good. But it's like
that's good you don't remember.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember a lot of what home life was like. I just remember what I was like in the 6th and 7th and 8th grade. And high key, I was more concerned with my own thing. Like church was a blip on my radar. But I don't know. I feel like I made a lot of personal strides in those years. But yeah.
Mass, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So if you had to do it again, start from the beginning, be a PK from the top, from the 10-year-olds, how would you do it differently?
Oh, that's a good question. I try to live my life with little regrets, so I don't know that I would do anything differently. I'm fine with the way it all happened. Yeah, I'm fine with the way it all went down. Like, I'm not bitter against anybody, you know, like people that don't like me, but I have fun with it. Like, I love it when people dislike me. Drama is so fun. Not like I don't mean that like I don't mean that
I
like
love it when people don't like me. No,
I don't.
so fun.
I mean, I like it because I know they don't have a reason to. Like when people dislike you for no reason, there's something funny about that. Like I'm 10 years old and you have a problem with me. That's hilarious. That's all I am saying.
Honestly, I wish I was like that sometimes.
Anyway, do you guys have any things you would do over?
If I could do it all again, I would probably no. I might no.
It's okay to have no regrets. Like I'm satisfied.
I mean, I don't feel like I really did anything, to be honest.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like I probably no. But I don't know. I just think sometimes I feel like I did the best I could with the situation that I was given.
I feel that because at first I was thinking like maybe I would have like tried a little harder with pre-worship, but I tried as hard as I could, you know, and like sometimes it's not enough for people, but you know what's enough for you, and like people still might say that I'm not doing good enough, and then you get up there, sis.
Right.
I think that if I had to go back, then I'll probably be more confident and bolder in what I say to people. Like if someone said like,
Skylah, the way you see yourself is so interesting to me that you don't think you're that person already. Because I would describe you as that person.
No, it's just because the lady was like, you can't have private chefs, that's unrealistic. And you're like, so you can't tell your daughter. You're like, I would never say that to someone.
Yeah.
Because you're not, when you say stuff, you're not like a smart aleck. You just say stuff. Like you say what's on your mind.
Yeah, I'm a little bit of a smart aleck. But that's like my way of like saying stuff because I learned how to say stuff without saying it. We all learn how to do different things, and you're a straight talker because that's what you learn. But that doesn't mean that you're not giving off the same impression. Like you're still bold, you still say what you need to say. You know, I don't know. I just think it's funny that you don't see yourself that way because I think everybody around you sees you as a very bold and like outspoken person.
Yeah.
And somebody that's not afraid to speak their mind.
Yeah. I mean, unless you're holding stuff back from us and we don't know.
No, that would be scary. You say a lot.
No comment.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Can you ask the trivia questions anymore?
Do you want to do trivia questions?
Oh yeah, do the trivia questions.
Okay. All right.
Unless you had any more questions you want to finish first, like any more discussion you want to
have. No, I think we did good with the rosebud thorn.
Oh, I have one question. This is fun. I feel like when like Skylah talked about the PK like reputation, but I feel like that was a very like niche thing. Like it wasn't a very like prominent thing in pop culture except for the PK show, which had ended by the time that our church started.
Oh, that freaking show.
Yeah. So a lot of times I felt like I was hanging on to like an old cliche until I got to school. And I literally had a teacher who had a problem with me because I was a PK.
I remember
that teacher. She just hated me in general.
I remember that.
But there was another boy in my class who was a PK, and she like loved this man like he was her Prince Charming. It was kind of inappropriate. Like she was like, "Oh yeah, I had a dream about him, and like any of you guys would be lucky to marry this guy. He's so sweet." And like that teacher needs to be fired. And he went on this mission trip to like Bali and whatever. And she was like, "Oh yeah, he's so cool." But me, she was like, you know, PKs are the wildest ones. And
is she related to the
PKs? Oh, you know, she said PKs have the most devil in them.
That teacher disgusted me. I remember we talked about her all the time.
She was different and she disliked me, and I don't know what it was. That's why I say like people just dislike me for some reason, especially when I was younger. I don't know what about a child made you hate them, but go off.
Public school teachers are so unhappy in general.
I mean, that's not true. I had a lot of really great public school teachers. She was just different, and she was an English teacher, so that hurt me. English teachers are supposed to be cool, and she was not. Anyway, so I'm just like curious, like what your guys' is like experience like
with cliches
with the PK like in pop culture, in media, with your friends. I don't know. I felt like it was interesting.
You want to answer?
I don't really have like interactions. I particularly avoid telling that. Like that's the first thing I tell about people. Daddy, I went to camp at the Children Bible Ministry. Like, yes, it was a ministry. Yes, it's Christian, but he introduced himself. He was like, "Yes, I'm Pastor Christian Hall."
Yes. It was very funny. He also was talking to small children, which I thought was
No,
weird.
he was talking to an adult. He was introducing himself to
No, but he also like introduced himself to the girls in the cabin and like everybody around because he's just a social person.
Oh,
oh, he didn't do that to us.
You don't remember when he left and he was like, bye, whatever her name was. And this girl was like, I was like, what are you talking to her?
Yeah, he made friends with my second grade girl. He made friends with her. She hated my guts.
And now he was friends with my bully.
Girl.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And this girl just loved him. And
did she have
was that when you were at George Washington, right?
Yes.
Did she have a dad?
Did she have a dad? Yes, but
I was just curious.
Actually, maybe she didn't.
Oh, that's another good thing we didn't mention. I feel like one of the like really interesting things to come to terms with is that when you become a PK, your dad becomes everybody else's dad. But he's sometimes a better dad to other people than you. Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I understand that. I feel like
I don't know. I kind of feel like, I feel like I learned that very quickly and I just rolled with it. Like I didn't really
I feel
like
the same way.
I couldn't. I knew I couldn't really do anything about it.
I mean, like so I try sometimes. Sometimes I feel bad, but it's like.
I mean, I feel like at first it didn't bother me because the youth there had parents, but then we started getting youth who came in without their parents, and it was like, yeah, this isn't cool. Like, you know,
it's just like the way he schedules his time. It's like he has like scheduled at times, like for one time, and it's like, okay,
he counsels him.
Yeah,
but I need counseling too.
Then you should make an appointment.
You should get a real counselor.
Ooh,
I mean. Sorry. I mean, I'm just saying you should pursue counseling
through other options.
Get
better help.
It's not. It's not. I don't think you want counseling from your father.
I know that's the thing. I was like, at first I minded, and I was like, the way he's explained things is not how I like that, and I would much rather talk to.
Yeah,
it's just not. It's
my mother.
It's a conflict of interest in psychology. We don't counsel our family members. It's just not something we do.
No, I just thought about that because I don't know. I feel like you said, like a lot of things we went through early on. I kind of like was an independent person. You go through a lot of stuff alone, and we lean on each other.
I was very independent as well.
But really recently, stuff was happening, and I felt like Daddy was really there, and that like surprised me in a way, but also was like kind of cool.
Good.
I don't know. I just thought that was interesting because I feel like that was one of the things that like. You don't necessarily prepare yourself for how that feels. You know, it's like that thing. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to have half siblings or like step siblings? Because I do all the time. And I think it feels very similar to having those kids at the church.
Yeah.
And like when Father's Day came around, I don't know. It's just funny to me.
That's an interesting perspective. I never thought about it like that.
Really?
No. I guess I just kind of expected it to happen that way. Like I didn't.
We weren't prepared for every thing that could happen. It was like,
and neither were they.
Yeah, that's true. It was like people might not like you, but you didn't prepare us for people that really like us, or like people that do too much, or like are too involved.
Yeah, I think they talk about too much of the things that are like the worst, and they like try and prepare you for the worst, but they don't prepare you for the details.
They can't know.
Okay, so let's do this. What advice would you give to the other PKs and other children whose pastors are starting? Whose fathers are studying, not whose pastors are becoming their fathers. Whose fathers are becoming their pastors.
I would say that it's okay to speak up. And it's okay to get what you need and advocate for yourself.
Yeah. That's really important. I feel like that was one of the good things our parents did, was like creating that space occasionally for us to like I feel like at the end of the day, our parents were really like there for us, even if like it wasn't when we needed it all the time or like exactly how we needed it, but
They tried.
All those incessant like family meetings, family check-ins, like they might not have been regular, but when it came down to it, when there were issues, they really showed up.
Interesting. I never thought of them as check-ins.
I don't know.
Normally,
you remember
family
mommy
meetings.
would sit down and be like, "So how are you guys? I just want to check in. How are you feeling?" And like she wouldn't do it often, but sometimes she'd be like, "So how are we this week? How did you enjoy that service or that event? Or like, what did you think of that event?" And like sometimes they kind of felt more like feedback sessions, but like or like focus groups. But I think she really tried to like. I think she tried to create a space where we felt like we could come talk to her. And I don't think we always take advantage of it, but I know that like when I did have issues with that one minister, or when I had issues with another minister, or with like other people, I did feel occasionally supported, and I did feel like I had people to advocate for me and help me advocate for myself, because God knows I didn't
felt that way. That's good.
I'd say just find other people you can like use for support and support each other. Like hopefully you have siblings. If you're an only child, you're just
I thought about that because I accidentally made my PK character like have like a younger sister that's like really young. I was like, oh shoot, is he gonna talk to?
And I just think like I was put in a position like right now where I don't have a bunch of friends where I can talk to, but I have more than reasonable amount of siblings.
Not a more than reasonable. That is super wild. Got us.
She said, according to the CDC.
Not to the CDC. CDC. So they even do that? Do CDC do that?
I don't know. I was just thinking when you were saying how you're.
All right.
Anyway, it's just good to have someone to support you when you can't talk to your parents.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Dang, what would I do if I was the only child? I guess I'd run away.
That's different. That's what I think that
I would have to move out.
I feel that. I think that
because how do you handle all that pressure on your own?
I have no idea. I think God I did a lot of like, yeah. That's I think my advice is that like it's not easy, but the advice they give you that like it's hard, but at the end of the day, like it becomes something. And I think that you made a really good point of like our parents were always trying to like make us feel like it was our business and like it was our thing. But I think what I would say is like take your time and like go with the flow, because I feel like in the moment it feels like a lot of pressure. In the moment it's really hard. It's really easy to feel like you want to give up or like you're so overwhelmed. But I feel like if you take it one day at a time, like one Sunday at a time, and you don't forget your personal relationship with God, and you don't forget to lean on him, and that you like, I don't know, you really you make the experience your own. Like you don't forget about that your input matters, your feedback is valued greatly.
Yeah, that's good.
And like, I don't know, I definitely think that like you shouldn't rush to take it all on your own, because it's really easy to feel disconnected from it at first, and like that's a you thing,
Definitely.
And I don't know, I just feel like it's hard when your parents push you into something that you don't want to do, but at the end of the day all things are working together.
Yeah.
Skylah really wants trivia now, so let's do that.
So I guess we'll do trivia.
I'm excited because I was supposed to write questions, but I didn't.
Okay. All right, first question. This is an easy one.
You need a buzzer.
A buzzer.
We don't. We'll just do
just do buzz.
Buzz. Okay.
Make the buzz sound. Okay. First question. How did KRC used to celebrate members' birthdays?
Bzz. Wait. I buzzed too fast. We used to bring in cupcakes every third or fourth Sunday and sing the happy birthday song. Wrong. And they had to go on the programs because I had to type up people's names.
Moo.
No, I think not agree on that.
I want my bell to be different.
Okay, whatever.
You don't have to use your hand.
You don't have to use your hand.
Yeah, I know. I just won't find that way. Well, I remember that she put it on the program and then she did the happy birthday to you and everyone had to sing along. And Sister D was like, play the whole song. Is that it?
And then we would do cupcakes.
Yeah, Madison got it right, but it was on second Sunday.
Oh, okay. I
I
knew
don't
it.
remember cupcakes.
We used to bring in cupcakes every second Sunday.
I
Sunday.
forgot cupcakes.
That's not true.
You did. You just
were
don't remember
probably eating
you were a
all of the
baby.
cupcakes. That's funny.
Okay, next one.
Sounds like me.
Okay. Where was the first KRC youth trip?
Oh, wait, this was with buzz.
Yep.
It was a mall, but I get my malls confused.
Nope.
It wasn't. Oh, buzz.
Yep.
Was it Adventure Park USA?
No.
Oh shoot.
No. I don't know. I wasn't there early enough. You guys are going too far.
It was bowling, and cousin Trina organized it.
That's because I hate bowling. Why do I remember that? I was thinking about the mall trip.
Yeah, that wasn't the first one. No.
Fair
Okay,
enough.
next one.
It's rigged.
What news station aired Pastor Chris's promotion of CWW? Skylah, go ahead.
WGZ.
No,
That's very true though.
it wasn't.
Yes, he did. He did go
We
on
were on
WGZ.
It wasn't
WJZ.
WJZ.
Yes, it was.
It was yeah.
No,
I
it
met
wasn't.
Chris Pratt. Oh, not Chris Pratt, but
What?
the guy. The
guy that does the morning show. It was gay.
It's Fox 45.
Oh shoot. We are all types wrong. Shoot. I was thinking that too. I was like, I could see it. Oh my gosh, that's funny.
What year was the KRC Gala?
Oh, because it was the 5th year, so it was 2017.
not fair.
Yeah, that was pretty easy. All right, last one. Name 5 outreach events KRC has hosted in the last 10 years.
Oh, 10 years. Wait.
I know.
Oh, it's
I know,
only
I
been
know.
10 years.
Excuse me. Okay.
Stop banging on the table.
Go ahead.
Men's
Name the outreach event.
It has a name.
men's stomping boots. Men's boots stop for the homeless.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Women's
That's one.
toiletries.
What?
And then gloves and mittens for the winter.
That was all one
I'm sorry.
thing.
Woman's
What are you doing?
toiletries is not a name of an event.
well,
That wasn't an event. It was just a drive. You have to. She's talking about events. This is. You said 5.
five. I thought you said 3.
Spaghetti dinners.
Okay.
Spaghetti dinners. Church Without Walls.
Mhm.
Stomp for the homeless.
Mhm.
Does the time we gave out tracks count, or was that not an event? And then does the dorm thing I just did count?
College.
Not really. It's not really
Okay,
outreach.
then I'll come up with another one.
Yes, it is.
Warm
They
Hands,
outreach
Warm
to
Hearts.
colleges.
Yep. It was Stomp for the Homeless, Church Without Walls, Warm Hands, Warm Hearts. We did a Christmas toy giveaway. We
All
did
right.
spaghetti dinners. And we did door-to-door lunches one year.
Oh yeah,
I didn't like that.
with the fruit snacks.
I also did not like that. But
I
I
couldn't be a
appreciate looking
door-to-door
back on
salesman.
it. I wish we could do it again. That's all I have.
All right.
Anyway.
Final thoughts, everyone.
Final thoughts, 10 years. How we
Final thoughts
feeling?
is how we recap everything, just in case you didn't, as the guest. I thought I explained it to
I
you.
want to know what spaghetti dinners are. I want to know why you guys rigged the trivia questions. It was like I couldn't answer a thing.
I'm so sorry.
I can only have
I'm
like answered
sorry
3
you
questions. I'm sorry that I can't control my age.
Is it our fault that you were only alive and
Spaghetti
conscious for 3
dinners
of
were
the
like
times?
huge community events where we invited the community into the church to eat
On like
spaghetti.
a Thursday or Friday.
Yeah.
What
And we
did you
just made a boatload of spaghetti. It was like a party in the kitchen.
It was fun.
I hope you guys invite me again. This was fun.
Thank you for coming. We enjoyed
Yeah,
your
thanks.
input and your perspective.
Very
'Cause
nice.
it's
This
really
is what I want to
interesting.
do in life. I just want
Have a
to.
podcast.
No, I just want to nitpick
Oh.
them and then just talk about them with other people.
You like discussing things.
Well, we might bring you back for another episode.
Yeah.
For 20 years.
We'll try-
You never
Ooh.
know.
Oh,
Not
wow.
Did you hear that? That's
Oh.
Just
okay.
kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. We love having it.
Mm.
All right. That's some
no.
final thoughts.
I low-key feel like we should do something really special with our last few minutes. Like I would say pop a bottle, but we cannot do that.
We don't have a bottle of pop.
And
Pray.
that.
Maybe we should
Oh,
put-
maybe we
You
should.
can pray.
That's really
Can
special.
we have a
pray for our
discussion
church.
pray?
I thought she was about to say let's have a discussion after we just discussed for 2 hours. She said
What do you want to discuss, man?
no.
Like, no, just the way we pray is like not just like bow your head and close your eyes.
Skylar, we can talk about prayer on a different episode.
No,
This is-
not talk about prayer, but like
Oh, you want to have prayer where we open our eyes and look at each other? I like prayers like that too.
Yeah, we're just saying like
it's not a trust exercise. Don't despair. All right, dear God, why are y'all looking down? We just said we were going to do that. Anyway, thank you for this time, for this podcast, for this platform that you've given us. And we thank you. We thank you for the position that you put us in, even when it was hard. We thank you for being there with us through the process and how far you've brought us and where you're bringing us to. And we thank you for being there and for being the best father possible, always knowing what we need. And I thank you for the people that you put in our lives to help us support us through this process, for my siblings, my parents, and even the members, colorful as they are. And I thank you for the ministries that you put in each and every one of us, whatever they might be, the blessings and assignments that you've given us. I ask that you give us all strength and faith to see them through and to continue on this path that you set us on. In Jesus' name.
Amen. Lord, I'm thankful for your hand over our ministry, and I'm thankful for everything that you've done. I'm thankful that your hand is over all of our lives, over our pastor and first lady's lives, over our members' lives, over our leadership lives. Lord, I'm thankful that you are in control and you know where we're going to end up, and you know where we've been, and you know everything in between. And I'm thankful that we all have the opportunity to bring glory to you through serving your people and building your church and developing your church. And I just ask that you would continue to have favor on us, continue to have grace and mercy in our lives, continue to be a light, that we might follow you, that people would see Jesus in us, even in our ministry, Lord. And I just ask that you would continue to help us to be good examples of Christ for other people. And I just pray that you would protect us and keep us and continue to show us the way. In Jesus' name, amen.
I guess I'm expected to pray.
You don't have to if you don't want to. No,
I'm gonna pray, and I'm gonna say that I just am thankful to you guys that you allowed us to have this time. You allowed us to be with my sisters and to have them take that fall for us. And as the original pastor's kids, it's really really wise. And I just thank God for the way things. Why are you laughing at my prayer?
I wasn't.
I
wasn't though.
She was a little bit.
I wasn't though. I just. She said them for sacrificing themselves. Oh my goodness. Sorry. I wasn't laughing at your prayer. I was just like, that's wild and bold, but if you're thankful, my guy. Cool. Keep going.
Just thankful for your wisdom and how you brought our family together and how you made each of our personalities unique, and each of the experiences that happened in our lives were just enough for us to get through them. And I thank you for being with our parents and being with us. And please help us not to slack off in our relationship with you.
Amen.
And please help us to appreciate you more and not take our relationship or this church ministry for granted. And thank you for all the people and members in our lives that are here now and are here to come. And ultimately, we really love them, even if they may not love us back.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Amen.
Facts.
Oh my God, I'm so tired.
I'm tired too.
Good
It's been a long
night.
10 years.
I'm tired. Tonight. She was tired from 10 years. But to each his own.
No, I'm tired of tonight. All right. Good night.
No, wait, before we end, I think like that's a really good point, you know, because some people really like let themselves get tired. And I mean, you know, like we all get tired sometimes,
We all
but
do.
you really do have to pick and choose your battles as a PK, as a person in ministry.
It's true.
You can't let everything get to you because there's too much stuff.
Yeah.
I think
not enough space.
Too much stuff.
Not enough space. Sorry.
I think I got tired real early on. And after a while, I just learned that like things are going to go the way they go.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it also has a lot to do with like other circumstances in your life.
Right. And I feel like it's a bit overwhelming because this is just like a small group of people. This is a relatively tiny church.
Mm-hmm.
This is not like what I guess God has promised in a way, kind of. Like, I just feel like our parents have told us that like things are going to get bigger, and God has told them that more things are going to happen. And they haven't happened yet, but this is just a lot. Just like going to church every day and just like hearing it is overwhelming. Living it is overwhelming, and having to be with all those people is disgusting. I mean, not disgusting, but like,
dang,
let's go to sleep. Skylah's filter is like she's getting ruder and ruder as it's disgusting. Oh my god,
it's not like that. It's just
yeah, we knew what you meant.
She said they don't wash their hands.
Did you know more than 40% of men don't wash their hands after they go to the bathroom?
It's not that kind of podcast.
It's not that kind of episode, baby.
Okay.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. I was
Happy 10 years.
Okay, Skylah, finish.
She's gonna edit you out anyway.
Oh,
I may not. Say something worth it.
okay.
Worth our 45 minutes.
Say something worth the 30 seconds you're gonna take out.
Okay. Well, I just want to say that even though like it does like have its challenges, it's still like really fun, and I think it has its advantages, and it pays off, and it's really good to put on your resume. I think.
I'm sorry, who was putting PK out on their resume?
Said Jesus on
I would.
Is that a real thing?
Can vouch for me.
Is that a real thing? Jesus on my resume? Can we make that a thing? Because I would put that on a t-shirt.
Sure.
I would put that in a rap song. Can we sell it to someone?
Yes.
Jesus on my resume is kind of hard.
Jesus on my resume is our new brand name.
I love that.
You're welcome.
I said,
yeah.
All right.
That, but sure.
Good night. Happy 10 years, everyone. Skylah, it's been fun having you.
It's been so fun.
Glad you came.
We will definitely bring you back.
For sure.
Yeah, you definitely have an interesting perspective.
Your perspective is so necessary.
We value your voice.
We value your feedback.
You sound like something I don't want to be a part of. Sounds like a cult.
All right.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. I love you.